What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about how to find the next gem in Splinterlands. And what I mean by that is cheap cards that have a high potential to go up in value in the future. So, recently there's been 21 new reward cards released, and a lot of them are pretty affordable on the marketplace. Right now, as you can see, a lot of them are super cheap. Um, And that's because there's going to be 20 times more print limits than previous reward edition cards. So there's going to be a slightly higher supply. Also, Chaos hasn't been released yet, so no one really knows what the future meta is going to be. And that kind of means that players aren't really hoarding cards at the moment. And that combined with the high supply is what's leading to these cheap prices. But we like that because we can get some really good deals, I think personally. So I'm just going to go through a few tips that might help you find the next gem. So number one, I'd say look for cards with similar abilities as previous cards that have performed well in the past. Like, for instance, the Pelacor Mercenary. As you can see, he has Heal at level 6 and Retaliate at max level, and you can get that for like pretty cheap right now. $86 compared to, say, Flesh Golem, which is what a lot of people use in Bronze League with Llama, and it's super annoying. He gets Heal at level 3, so kind of similar with abilities, while this one is $3,000. So you can kind of see how you would think that card would go up in value in the future. So I think that's going to be a pretty good pick. Alright, so tip number two. I personally think low mana cards have a lot of utility. Take, for instance, let's see, the Pelacor Conjure doesn't really look that good, but when you look at it, it does get a lot of abilities that are pretty good in the higher ranks. Let's see what we can compare it to. I think this card probably is similar. Look, that's 85 cent. Kind of similar. It gets Magic Reflect, Strengthen, Demoralize. So a little bit different, but this is kind of a good comparison. And if you had a lot of them at 7 cent and they eventually went up to 85 cent in a year or so, that would be a pretty good return. Plus, low mana cards offer like a good bit of utility in low mana cap battles. You always slide an extra card in if you have low mana costs like this, which is really nice. I would say tip number three is to look for newer cards that counter old meta cards, I guess you would say, and some of the ridiculously expensive cards. So, one that stood out to me was the Gargoyle Devil. Let's see, right here. So he has Death Blow, which means he does 2 times the damage if their target is the only monster left on the enemy team. And if you take, for instance, Llama plus Kron is like pretty hard to beat in Bronze. That would give you a lot of damage against Kron when he's in Last Stand. You do have to get him to level 4, but to get to that is only $8 right now, so that's pretty good. Could give you a good counter against that. Let's see. And tip number 4, I would say, is cards with stat buffs, kind of like summoners, and cards that just synergize well with your current deck. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's see, what are we looking for? Some of these new cards are super cheap right now. I would say one card that stands out to me a lot that is kind of like that with stat buffs, like a summoner, and that would synergize well with some of the current cards is Venari Wavesmith because of the protect ability. It gives all friendly minions 2 armor, and it has 1 magic damage. This card is just nasty. Gains another ability to spell later on, which is really good. And you can pick this card up for pretty cheap right now too. It's a little higher than the others, but that's because it has really good utility. Let's see. Oh, there's another one. Jin Renova, if that's how you say that, has the strengthen ability, so everybody will gain like 1 health, which can be good. And it gains Triage, which will heal the backline monster, so that will be really good if you, for any sneak attack monsters that are attacking your backline. They heal them up, so I think that's a really good pick at only $1.89. And a lot of these cards are going to get cheaper most likely because there's going to be more prints, I'm assuming, since it's the 20 times. And last tip, I'd say just if you can pick up legendaries for super cheap, they could potentially go up in value in the future as well. And there's a few cheap ones right now. The Jin Oshanis is the most expensive right now. And he's really good with his 2 magic damage, 5 speed, and 10 health for only an 8 cost. That's really good. Especially if you could pair it with Auric in the new season. He'd have 3 magic damage and be super fast. But I doubt that would be possible. I think it's only going to be like Untamed, some of the new reward cards, and maybe Dice too. The Jin Bilka's pretty cheap for only $10. Harklaw only $9.50. So those are some pretty cheap legendaries that you could pick up right now. Same with epics. There's some epics that are pretty cheap. One of my personal favorites is the Jin Schwala. Only $2.20 right now. One of the only level, or actually the only level 1 card that has Thorns, which does 2 damage to any melee attacker. Really good in my opinion. Picked up a few of those. Lava Launcher looks pretty decent, especially with the close range attack. Uraeus is really good for a neutral monster. There's only like 1 other neutral sneak monster for 3 mana cost, I think. And it's a little higher than that. Let's see. Where is he at? It's another sneak. Put it on regular real quick. Yeah, there's only... Oh, shit. I thought there was. Oh, it's because it's on Epic. I'm a dummy. So there's that one, but it's a 9 mana cost, and then there's Elven Cutthroat, which is the other one at $3.15. And it's only a common. But pretty similar, other than this one has more health and a shield, so it can eat an attack, and maybe a low attack as well. So really good card. Alright guys, that wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Peace.